Wanless World Series Sprintcars, a grueling championship trail. It's been part of the Australian speedway landscape since 1987. Each November, a band of race-hardened sprint car chauffeurs begin crisscrossing the nation in their quest to win the coveted 15-round showdown. Along the championship trail, at the capital city venues, as well as the leading provincial circuits, the contracted drivers encounter stiff competition from plenty of home track heroes. With the curtain about to go up on the 22nd edition of Wanless World Series, meet two drivers who have dominated the title since its inception. 36-year-old Brooke Taftnell, who has won the crown 6 times and is the defending champion. Arch rival Max Dumsney, the 48-year-old veteran who has claimed the series on 7 occasions. When you consider Brooke's dad George won the first 2 series, that means the Taftnells and Max Dumsney have between them 15 of the 21 titles. Joining the fray again this summer is Robbie Farr, the 2004 Australian Sprint Car champion. He'll be driving for Barry Waldron's East Coast Pipeline team. Also aboard the travelling caravan, Queenslander Peter Lack in the G&W JI car. Lack stunned many last season when he outdrove Brooke Taftnell to win the Kalgoorlie round. South Australia will be represented by Ricky Maiolo in the TRG Transport Oval Track Imports Eagle. Also from South Australia in the Adrad Radiators entry, Trevor Green, the 37-year-old former motocross star who finished 4th in last year's World Series. Once again this year, some of America's best sprint car talent will compete in select rounds, including the world's current #1, Donnie Schatz from North Dakota, and World Series regular Jason Johnson in the Disbury family Superlock entry. For the uninitiated, sprint cars are purpose-built open-wheel race cars, Speedway's equivalent of Formula One. They're powered by 410 cubic inch engines running on methanol fuel, producing 850 plus horsepower. The distinctive aluminium top wing is there to provide downforce to help keep all that power on the track. This year's championship trail was to have started at Brisbane International Speedway, but they don't call this sport the drought breaker without good reason. On cue the rains came, so it was down the coast to Parramatta for the opening round. Brooke Taftnell was born and bred in Sans Souci, Sydney, Australia. On Aussie turf, his recent success rate has been incredible, driving for West Australian Shane Cricky's Bunbury Toyota team. But in America, where Brooke now lives, times have been tough. I asked what would happen if he could take the Cricky outfit lock, stock and barrel to the USA.
I think we'd have pretty much the same results as what we're having right now. I mean, biggest thing is we're a unified outfit. Everyone believes in each other, and that's something that you've got to have in a race team. It doesn't matter whether you're Steve Kins or Donnie Schatz. I mean, you take away Steve Kins' crew and he's got nothing. You take away Donnie Schatz' crew, they've got nothing. It's everyone's got to be unified, and that's the whole belief in this race team. They believe in me and I believe in them, and we've got the equipment to get the job done.
You are the second most prolific sprint car winner at this racetrack with 39 main event wins, but you haven't won here since 2004.
Thanks for reminding me of the lackluster performances lately, but we've always had a good run here. I mean, I never knew how many races we've won here.
Rush 95, you 39.
We talking age? No, I mean, it just goes to show the dominance of Gary Rush, doesn't it? I mean, we've had a good career here. This will always be home. I think, my first ever official race, legal race, was Liverpool. But this will always be where I had my first mechanics race at 13, sitting on two pillows and a phone book to see over the dashboard. So, I mean, we've been fast here. Sometimes the results just haven't come, but we're really planning on turning it around, especially this weekend.
Robbie Farr finished second to Brooke Taftnell in last year's World Series. Today, he's looking trim, taut and terrific for the battle ahead.
Yeah, we've kept busy in the off season, mate. We really, really enjoyed last season, and just been really eager for this season to come around and trying to keep fit and give it the best shot we can.
You've raced in the United States, basing yourself on the West Coast. How many meetings? How did you go?
I think we've done about 6 races. We had some good ones and some bad ones. You roll into their backyard, after 5 months off, and we showed some good speed at times, and we had some nights we would have liked to have been a little bit better. So a little bit up and down, but overall good experience, and all laps are good laps. So we enjoyed ourselves, and that's the main thing.
And Far's delighted to be back at Parramatta, a very happy hunting ground.
I love Parramatta and racing here, and got a lot of friends and fans here. So this race is important to me.
Your form's pretty good. Looks like you've got a team and a half to work with.
Yeah, got a great bunch of guys, and Barry Waldron gives me great equipment. We've got a bunch of really good sponsors, so that there's no downside, there's no excuses in the equipment department. So we just got to get the car right and hopefully drive a smart race.
We'll be watching.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Max Dumsney recently entered a race meeting in northern Queensland, but hear what happened while he was sitting parked on the infield.
We were just engine warm-ups, and you warm up and park on the infield until your hot lap session. I'd parked down in turn 3 and 4, and I was just sitting there, and a guy pulled off the track, and turn 1 must have given the throttle a blip, and it's just stuck wide open. He ran the full length of the track and hit me wide open up the butt.
No malicious intent, did he know and look for the number?
No, he had no idea. Like Mouse said, his wheels were in the air and he couldn't steer it. He was just going straight. So I had no idea what hit me. I didn't even hear him coming.
Must have been a relief then to come to Parramatta and take out the New South Wales title and settle everything down.
It was. After that, we weren't too sure. Like, the car felt fantastic up in Cairns and we were really happy. We thought we're looking forward to a good season, and then it got tore up in Mackay, and I thought, well, maybe that's put a stop to it. But then we came to Parramatta and the car was beautiful. So hopefully it's the same tonight.
Shortly, the main event. But right now, some highlights from the heats. And on the front row, in the yellow and blue car, numbered 62, is the 18-year-old gal, Taylor Johnson, who's been driving karts since she was 7 and sprint cars for 2 seasons, and she's off for a flying start over Chris Muir. Then comes Steve Court and Paul Jeffrey.
Mitchell Dumsney, I'm watching him in the Eagle One number 77 there, Steve, and he's having a torrid time out there trying to get around these cars. Incidentally, the man that went fast time on your screen there just a minute ago is the young Roddy Balboa in the Spizhecker, McGrath Lander number 7 J&J. He's putting in a great performance, but he needs to pass cars in his heat.
Yep, he's going to finish 10th in this one, but the victory is going to the little girl. Here she is, Taylor Johnson.
Time now for Heat 2. Daryl Campbell and Jeremy Cross off the front row. Campbell drifted up the track and really took it away from Jeremy Cross out of Dubbo. Trevor Green in the Adrad number 4 trying to weave his way through.
And keep your eye out for Mark Blyton from Dubbo, guest driving in the Queensland 11 car.
2 Dubbo boys in the 1 heat race. Cross and Blyton, but here's Robbie Farr in the East Coast Pipeline number 7 J&J. Look at James Thompson going to the top side, and there's Andrew Wright from Muswellbrook. Here's our race leader, Daryl Campbell.
And Stu, Robbie Farr is struggling at the moment. He and Kelly Linigan are battling 6th and 7th place.
Yeah, probably one of the reasons for that, Steve, is the track is just so fast right now. So every car out there is doing pretty much the same speed. It's like a freight train. Oh, no! Cross and Campbell. Cross nearly made contact with Campbell's left rear tyre. Lucky to continue on. The cars get past Gavin Black. So Daryl Campbell got the new paint scheme for this weekend too. Takes out heat number 2.
In this heat, former Kiwi Trevor Wishart, now based in Sydney in car 63. Young Daniel Needham in 95, share the front row.
First time we've seen the former Australian champion in Brooke Tatnell driving the Toyota Genuine Parts cool chassis for the Cricky Motorsport team out of Bunbury in Western Australia, doing some angry laps here at Tyre Power PCR.
Brooks running in 5th place ahead of American Mike Carver, and then comes Ian Loudon, who could only manage 16th in time trials.
Max Dumsney, Mr. Valvoline as he's now known as. He's having a dog of a time out here on the racetrack. The car is not set up the way he normally likes it. He's having big dramas in turn 2. Last lap now for our race leader, young Daniel Needham in the CR&D number 95.
He's going to take it from Rod Wishart, then comes Morrison, Warren Ferguson and Brooke Tatnell.
Good job by Daniel Needham. Next heat now. Here comes Mark Blyton and Chris Muir. Muir in the Mabart number 69 on the bottom side, Blyton on the top side. Blyton doing a great job. There's young David Kraft in the Kraft differentials number 86. Really leaning down on that left rear tyre. He's really trying to get all that drive out of it. But Mark Blyton, he's just skipped away.
Mitch Dumsney started out of position 5, remains there, followed by Kelly Linigan and Roddy Balboa.
Also great to see Mark Blyton doing an awesome job out in front. But the man I wanted to talk about was Paul Jeffries in the Vortex Wins number 12 car. He's doing a great job. It's only about his third or fourth full-time season. Dumsney still fighting this race car. I love the way this kid drives in the Eagle One number 77.
And don't you find we're talking about Mitchell Dumsney more and more? It's a great pity we don't see more of this man, though. Mark Blyton, he's a talented chauffeur and he's a winner.
These heats are just flying through right here, Steve Raymond. Jeremy Cross out of Dubbo on the front row of this one. Grant Anderson, Trevor Green, you name it. They're nearly every state of Australia's covered here with these guys. Trevor Green, though, having an absolute dog of a night right now. But there's Robbie Farr. You know this man's whereabouts when Wanless World Series Sprint Cars hits town.
Battling for 7th place is Farr. Trevor Green is there with him. James Thompson and Peter Lack out of Queensland in 58.
Glenn Saville and Steve Corn having a great battle there. Corn in the 9 and Saville in the 75. Race leader is Cross. He's gone. In the EWT number 62 is Taylor Johnson there still circulating around doing a great job in 2nd place. There's our race leader in the Frank Cross tyres, number 39, Jeremy Cross.
Looks like last season's hard charger is coming away with an easy victory over Taylor Johnson and Anderson.
Now for another heat. Trevor Wishart up against the Queenslander in Todd Wanless. Wanless has had a pretty different night so far. Time trial really down the back, been off the front row in both heats, and he's going to run away with this one the way this racetrack is now. David Doherty and Ian Loudon having a great battle there. Loudon in the Blackshaw Motor Body Repairs number 18. Now look at Matty Reid. He's back with us again. He's trying to go to the top side. Loudon dives in underneath Rod Maxwell. What a racetrack this is. You see some great racing week in, week out.
Also at the back in this one is Gary Brazier in the Northern Territory's Danny Reedy.
Yeah, as I said earlier, Steve, we've got every state of Australia nearly covered, bar Tasmania and I think Western Australia, but these guys are doing some great racing. And look at this race leader, Todd Wanless in the number 2 Queensland car.
A lot of top names are doing it tough tonight at this rate. Both Brazier and Loudon will find themselves in the B main. Wanless wins this one convincingly. Stay with us, back with more Wanless World Series action very soon.
Welcome back. The final heat of the night for Wanless World Series Sprint Cars. I hope you've buckled into your favourite seat right now because it's action aplenty this final heat. Ricky Miolo on the outside with Daniel Needham on the inside. Look at Martin Laws trying to get through. Look at the contact here. No! Cars going left, right and centre. Warren Ferguson, Max Dumsney, Peter Gordon.
Here it is in slow motion. Note Peter Gordon in the blue 14 turns down on Warren Ferguson in 32. He's collected by Ben Atkinson, and then Max Dumsney goes in very hard.
Yeah, guys unfortunate involved in that. Benny Atkinson, Max Dumsney, nowhere to go. The two guys that really started it, Ferguson and Gordon, are both out of the heat. Restart time, we've lost those cars, so it's Miolo and Daniel Needham on the inside. Watch for Adrian Maher as he comes into the screen on the top side in Integrity. Locksmiths and Security number 10 Maxim. Wheel to wheel with Daniel Needham they go. Maher's up to 2nd spot. Martin Laws, he's out checking out the real estate on the top side of turn 4 in the Tyre Power number 50 car.
South Aussie Ricky Miolo doing the best he can out in front in 24, but now it's started to be hounded by Adrian Maher and starting to look sharp as Tatnall.
Yeah, Maher's done obviously a stack more laps around this place than what Ricky Miolo's done, so you'd suspect that Maher should get past Miolo, but he's doing a great job out in front in the TRG Transport number 24 car. Great to see Miolo doing this right now. Daniel Needham trying to run down Adrian Maher, but right behind Daniel Needham in the Western Australia 2, the TRD Toyota Genuine Parts Cool Chassis of Brooke Tatnall. He's weaving his way through, so he wants to get right in the action of this. How close is this? The top 4 cars are going at it with Brad Stacey, one of the slower cars. Oh no! Contact with Brad Stacey and Daniel Needham. Needham hard into the tyre wall on the outside of turn 2.
The rookie, Brad Stacey, it's his third only meeting. Look at this, goes up track. There's the wheels taken away from Daniel Needham. He's into the tyre wall, and that certainly lessens the impact.
Restart time. Now look at Adrian Maher hanging back from Miolo. Now the report is over the one-way communication these drivers have got that Brooke Tatnall has been told to pass Adrian Maher, as has Martin Laws. We will find out what the reason was for that, but now Miolo's out in front. Brooke Tatnall's up to 2nd. Laws is in 3rd, and now Maher's back to 4th. The report coming through is that Maher has got no tear-offs left, and he can't see when the car's taken off. He's now got past Laws. He's back up to 3rd. challenge now for the lead. You can see it coming. Tatnall gets a great run out of turn 2 into turn 3. Brooke Tatnall, he hasn't had Australia 1 on his tail tank for no reason, takes out the final heat of Wanless World Series Sprint Cars.
Welcome now to Wanless World Series 4-car salute and an impressive front row. Mitch Dumsney, Roddy Balboan, Robbie Farr, Adrian Marr. We have 18 starters. The distance, 30 laps. And up front, young Dumsney and Marr, then Balboan and Farr, Tatnall and Brady, Abbott and Tunks. Then Reed and Wright, Dumsney and Wanless, Brazier, Loudon, Thompson and Cross, and up the back Anderson and Trevor Green. Dumsney Jr. is on the pole position. Dad Max is starting out of position number 11. Brooke Tatnall is in row number 3. He is the defending champion. 30 laps ahead of us, and away we go.
Mitchell, Dumsney and Marr, the two local boys, both pull wheel stands as they start, so who's going to come out of turn 2 with the race lead? It's Marr on the top side, he just does it. Oh, look at Craig Brady in the pick and Payless, number 2, Maxim. Great to see him up the pointy end of the field. Look at cars just diving all over the racetrack, trying to jostle for position, but the man that's got a clear track is Adrian Marr.
Deep in the pack, having come through the B-main, Gary Brazier and Ian Loudon.
Also, Trevor Green come through the B-main as well, so these guys have struggled. There's Brazier. Only a month ago, he won the Australian title here, so he's got some work to do. Cars all over the racetrack. There's Matty Reid once again. Great to have him circulating a tyre power PCR. Grant Tunks running around on the bottom side of the racetrack, doing a great job as he come out of turn 4. Look at the different lines on this racetrack right now. You've got cars on the bottom, the middle, the top. They're everywhere, and Marr's running on the bottom.
Yep, Adrian Marr in the green and white Integrity car. Mitch Dumsney in the Eagles 77. Robbie Farr in the East Coast Pipeline J&J. And Brooke in the Oh What a Feeling number 2.
That's what I love about sprint car racing, Steve Raymond. The guys have got to run everywhere on this racetrack. Now, Marr's gone to the top side, into the middle now. Mitchell's in the middle. He was on the top side last time. You've got to know where to put a race car, and that's what speedway racing's all about.
Victorian Matthew Reid continues to hound Max Dumsney for 9th position.
Oh, Mitchell pulled a wheel stand coming out of turn 4. Marr's jumped the cushion. New race leader in the Eagle 1, number 77, or has he still got it? Marr fights back on the inside. Dumsney on the top side. That's Mitchell. Now he hits the cushion. Is Marr going to get him back? No, he's not. He's having a battle there now with Trevor Green. Mitchell. Now he's got a dogfight on his hand. Remember, Trevor Green's a slower car, so he's just put him down a lap. Now he's got Grant Anderson in front of him. In the Beef Growers, number 37, Foster.
Mitch Dumsney has just clocked the quickest lap, 12.726.
Well, that's moving around here in heavy lap traffic. Robbie Farr now in the East Coast Pipeline, number 7, J&J. Got in underneath Adrian Marr. Now Dumsney whacks the cushion again. Where are the two cars running for second position? There they are. Marr's back in second. Farr's in third. Marr, Farr, Marr, and then you got Dumsney. Dumsney, still our race leader, cannot get past Trevor Green.
It's lap traffic time. Welcome to Sprint Car Peak Hour.
Oh, it's awesome, and that's what I keep saying, sprint car racing. This is the best motorsport. It's the best kept secret of motorsport in the world.
The two tail enders, Victorian Grant Anderson and South Aussie Trevor Green, and they started on the back row in this main event.
I tell you what, Eagle 1 have got to be real happy right now with the coverage they're getting as his showpiece designs and everybody else that's on Mitchell Dumsney's car. Here comes Marr now on the inside. What a race this has been so far. Haven't had a stoppage, and that's what I'm loving about speedway racing.
The order is Mitchell Dumsney, Adrian Marr, Robbie Farr, Brooke Tatnall, Craig Brady and Grant Tunks.
And this is round 2 of Wanless World Series Sprint Cars you're watching here on Fox Sports, and what a race it's been so far with Mitchell Dumsney, the son of a gun, Max, out in front.
Dumsney looking cool and comfortable, but Marr under serious threat from Robbie Farr.
Here comes Brooke Tatnall in the Western Australia number 2. Now, Dumsney again, he's just got underneath the Adrad number 4 of Trevor Green, so he's got a clear track in front of him. The race is on. There's only a handful of laps left to go. Here comes Marr on the bottom side, trying to get underneath Green. Couldn't do it. Dumsney pulls away. There's Robbie Farr. Whenever the Wanless World Series Sprint Car teams pull into town, you know Farr, Dumsney and also Tatnall are going to be whereabouts up near the front.
Robbie Farr has never won a World Series crown. He's had 15 A-main victories, though, in the series. You can sense he's serious about a win in 2008-2009. Mitchell Dumsney driving his heart out in 77, turned 21 on the 27th of September. This is his 122nd meeting. He's won only a main event here at Parramatta, and that was 8 months ago.
Oh, that was so close between Mitchell Dumsney, our race leader, and Grant Anderson. We'll have a look at a slow-mo replay. Anderson in the 37 car comes off the track and then just drives straight back on and nearly makes contact with Mitchell. Trevor Green even checks up. That's saying something. Race leader is still Mitchell Dumsney.
Don't wish to put a jinx on the race, but no stoppages. This could go 30 laps flag to flag. The 30-lap record held by Donny Schatz in 2001, 6 minutes 51 seconds.
Adrian Marr's still in second, followed by Robbie Farr and Brooke Tatnell, race leader. Now this is saying something, how fast Mitchell Dumsney is right now. Our current PCR track champion, our tyre power PCR track champion is Ian Loudon. He laps him. Oh no! Grant Anderson's found a quick way through in turn 2, made contact. We'll have a better look at it this time. Anderson on the bottom side, pulls a slide job. Mitchell comes in. Now, Anderson's right rear tyre wheel has hit Mitchell's steering arm. I hope there's nothing broken on his car.
You have to admit this is a very mature drive by young Dumsney. He's clean, he's precise, and not buckling under the pressure being applied by Farr and others.
Trevor Green wants a part of the action. He's a lap car. Here comes Robbie Farr to the top side. Challenge for the race lead. Couldn't quite get it done, so Mitchell hangs on. Robbie's back in second spot. Brooke Tatnell's in third, followed by Adrian Marr back in fourth. Trevor Green, he's getting some great airtime in this Adrad number 4 car, but he's a lap car. He's getting some good laps done, though.
Brooke has won this series 6 times. He's scored an impressive 59 main event wins, 22 quick times.
Here comes Robbie Farr again. He's right on the rear nerf bar of Mitchell Dumsney. Loses a bit of ground that time. Coming out of turn 4, he's right back on him now. The race is on. This is round 2 of Wanderers World Series Sprintcars. Mitchell whacks the cushion. That lets Farr get a good run on the bottom side. Not quite. Mitchell just carries some massive speed around this place. What has Robbie Farr got for Mitchell Dumsney?
Well, Mitchell Dumsney has won 1 main event, and Robbie Farr has won 15 in this series alone.
So far, still in second spot. Here comes Mitchell, makes the big move underneath Ian Loudon down in turn 4. Now Farr, has he really got something? There's only probably 2 or 3 laps to go right now. So Mitchell, as our race leader, Farr gets a great run out of turn 2 down the back straight.
It would look as though Farr is starting to really march on and show his maturity as they move up the main straightaway. Farr is running out of laps to do it, but you have the feeling he's about to pounce.
Oh, he's so quick out of turn 2 that time round. Look at Mitchell really fighting the race car. Mitchell makes a mistake. Oh, Farr's through. Can you believe it? This is the last lap. Robbie Farr is now into the lead. Mitchell's back to second. Farr gets, Dumsney pulls a wheel stand coming out of turn 2. Final turn of round 2 of Wanderers World Series Sprintcars. Dumsney's gone to the top side. Oh no, contact. Dumsney upside down big time. What are the officials going to do on this one, Steve Raymond? I'm not going to call it yet.
Let's look at it in slow-mo as they come up to the main straightaway. Mitch crashing his left rear, riding over Robbie's right front. Can't see any malicious intent in it.
Oh, that's a massive ride for Mitchell Dumsney. Robbie Farr has got driven away from the accident. Another angle. Now, this is the original one we've seen. Mitchell on the top side, Farry on the bottom. Now, it's a racing incident. Both guys are seeing the checkered flag. There's contact. Mitchell just has to sit there and wait for all the loud noises to stop.
They have completed. They got the checkered flag. He's won the race upside down. And he's only 1 second outside Donny Schatz' track record.
That's amazing that he's only just missed it, Steve Raymond.
Max Dumsney has won World Series 7 times and a total of 50 A-mains. His boy tonight savours victory number 1 in the series. Well done, it's confirmed he's been given the win.
He's just catching his breath. Look how happy he is as he gets the checkered flag. Now he waves that, salutes the race fans and you guys at home as well. Mitchell Dumsney takes out round 2 of Wanderers World Series Sprint Cars.
And I bet there's an offer for him to go to Perth and continue the series. Here's how they finished. Mitchell Dumsney, Robbie Farr, Brooke Tatnell, Adrian Marr, Grant Tunks, Craig Brady, Roddy Balboan, Max Dumsney, Matty Reid and Todd Wanless.
Man, I tell you what, it was a tough race, especially the last lap, but yeah, I just kept it together and the car was great, bottom to top. Just hats off to Cam and Scary, just working their butt off all week, and Mel and Tris and all the guys that just helped me out, and Mouse, Brendan, Dad. I wouldn't be here if they didn't get something together on Friday, because yesterday I wasn't racing, today I'm here. It's great to be here.
A very happy Mitch Dumsney. Trust you enjoyed the Speedway action. Thanks for your company. For the uninitiated, sprint cars are purpose-built open-wheel race cars, Speedway's equivalent of Formula One. They're powered by 410 cubic inch engines running on methanol fuel, producing 850 plus horsepower. The distinctive aluminium top wing is there to provide downforce to help keep all that power on the track.
Welcome across to the west coast of Australia. I'm Grant Boyden. Stu McCarthy's with us, and we're getting set for the Wanless World Series Sprint Cars. This is the way the championship looked at the end of round 2. Robbie Farr out in front, Tatnell, Max Dumsney in third, Green rounding out the 4. And it's time to get the heats underway in the Wanless World Series Sprint Cars here at Perth Motorplex, and they are away and racing.
Yeah, they certainly are, Boyd. As we see David Priolo, the man that went quick time here tonight at the start of the night, has had a tough start of the night. But Brian Brown out of Missouri, actually lives in Higginsville, Missouri, got a good start. Look at, here comes Brooke Tatnell and Max Dumsney, two of the superstars of Wanless World Series Sprint Cars.
It's great when the Yanks come over to take on the Australians on our home turf. Gives us the upper hand as well.
Yes, so Brooke Tatnell going to take out heat number 1 in convincing style in the Toyota Genuine Parts number 2. Cool.
Let's see heat 2 underway.
Stephen Ford there in the 32 car. Beautiful colour blue, actually, on the sun down the back straight. But race leader Trevor Green using every part of the infield right there. Sometimes you've got to do that, Boydo, to get the job done, and he does. Trevor Green from Adelaide in South Australia.
And we're down to heat number 3 on the program.
Yeah, Ricky Miolo in the TRG car out of Adelaide. Oh, no!
That's not the way to start a heat, and it's caused mayhem in the background.
Yeah, Kane Manuel just got caught up with another car there, and you can see the other car just going off and rolling over on the right rear. But Manuel, very lucky actually. Robbie Farr did a great job getting through there. But we go back to the racing action. Mark Wells, the Geraldton Jet, in car 21, good performance by him. Sean Bradford, second generation sprint car driver, racing against Ken Satori in the 92.9 FM Jeff Kendrick owned car. Brian Brown once again, he's doing a great job out here. Actually great to have him back on Australian shores.
And taking the high line and trying to get there on the checkered flag. Let's see what he can do. Beautiful run and good margin on that on the win as well. We are down to Dash A, and it's close, hard racing.
Yeah, Daryl Clayton in the Australian painted scheme car. It looks fantastic, but look at the battle. These two guys here, Max Dumsney in the Valvoline, GKR, number 5, doing a great job. We're straight into Dash B now. Brooke Tatnell and the flying Ryan Farrell. Perth's own Ryan Farrell in the 95 car. He races with his heart on his sleeve every time. Just round the next corner is the A-Main.
Should be an absolute ripper, Stu. But first, let's go to Alan Barley and find out a little bit more about these magnificent machines.
Okay, today we're going to talk about the fuel that sprint cars use. It doesn't run normal fuel like your road car does. It's methanol, which is, would you believe, 30% water. It's nowhere near as volatile as normal unleaded petrol. Which is one of the reasons why we use it, but also it's actually 30% water, which once it's being burnt in a high combustion engine, that it actually splits the water atoms, and we utilise the oxygen that's in the fuel to actually create a better burn. Very safe fuel for us to use in an accident situation. The most dangerous thing about it is that it burns like methylated spirits, which is a clear flame. Versus normal petrol, which you can actually see smoke coming from. So we have to be very cautious. That's why we wear full safety burn-proof attire. But the main thing with the alcohol fuel is that it creates a bigger bang.
Welcome back to the action at the Perth Motorplex, and we are down to the main A of round 3. It's action aplenty. There's plenty of sparks out there at the moment with the lead cars coming around, and we're going to see plenty of racing spark with Clayton stunning off the front with Monty alongside him as we go back down through the grid. Brown out of 16 and Loudon out of 18th will round out the field.
Yeah, Daryl Clayton doing a great job to get to start on pole in round 3 of Wanless World Series Sprint Cars. We are green. Robbie far off the second row. In the East Coast Pipeline, number 7, J&J, moves up to second.
Further back in the field, Farrell's right in the thick of the action at the moment. The pressure is on.
Yeah, it's always hot out on the speedway. Oh, Brooke Tatnall pulls a slide job in front of Luch Monty, but Daryl Clayton, he's really showing his Aussie pride right now, running out in front, doing an awesome job. With that Aussie flag painted on the car, running around the top side of the racetrack. Now, Boydo, with that, it's tough to do that around this place because it's so wide and it's high speeds and you've only got that wall inches away from you.
His biggest benefit is there's no one around him, so he can concentrate on his lines and concentrate on getting that power down nice and cleanly, unlike these two, which are in a ding-dong battle at the moment. The second spot.
Yeah, Robbie Farr. Robbie Farr. That's his nickname, and he's awesome to watch as Robbie Farr. He wears his heart on his sleeve as well, but I am very impressed with Daryl Clayton, the way he's circulating around this 520-metre racetrack here at Kwinana Beach in Perth.
You know, some days you come to the track and you're just on it. Your car's good, it's set up right, you've got all the pace that you need under your foot, but also you just can't get anything wrong. Everything you touch turns to gold, and that's what Clayton is doing at the moment. Every line he takes, he's just wrapping up the opposition.
Yeah, he's just starting to get into lap traffic now, putting Mark Wells down a lap. The Geraldton Jet, as he's affectionately known over there in Western Australia, one of the local boys. Now, he's running the bottom side of the racetrack where it's a lot slicker, whereas Clayton's running up around near the wall, and that's a long way around, obviously. Now, he's above the cushion there in the loose dirt. No, Robbie Farr. In the Orcon Vermeer East Coast Pipeline, number 7 J&J. Not sure what's happened with him, but the yellows come on. That means we do a rolling start now, Boydo, and it hurts for Robbie Farr. It's all about the points chase championship. It's a 14-round series, 16-round series, so you've got to accumulate points, and that's going to hurt Robbie Farr, but you know he's going to come back through the field.
Yeah, but he's going to be bitterly disappointed. Back under racing action, Clayton puts the power down already. Look at this. He's pulled out a couple of car lengths straight off the gun. He is so on it this weekend.
Well, the man to watch right now, these two men on screen, Rowan Farrell in the 95 car, and then Brooke Tatnall. Farrell, if you don't mind. That's called a old-fashioned slide job, the way he's done it, or just close the door. Unlucky not to make contact. Sometimes you've got to do that to get that racing line into the turns.
And forcing your opposition to just get out of it, just lift a little bit and not be able to have a go next time as you come up to the tight turns of this circuit.
Yeah, Clayton's still out in front, and it's great to see these other Western Australian guys doing a good job out there right now. So Element doing a good job running around down near the back of the pack at the moment, but he's a fast car, and that's one thing. At the start of the night, these boys go out in time trial, Boydo. They get 2 laps, and they get to record their fastest lap, and that sets them up for the night. So he's got trouble now, though. Never a good sign when you see a car pull to the infield, but the race continues. Challenge for the race lead. Brooke Tatnall.
Oh, close. Clayton on the outside there manages to hold the line. Tatnall stays low. The 2 car in a big challenge now for the race lead. What happened? Clayton had such a good lead, and Tatnall has just grown wings.
Yeah.
Straight up into the lead. Look at that.
Yeah,
Can he get it back?
Nice slide job by Brooke Tatnall. Now, you'd suspect Brooke Tatnall should run away with this because he's done so many more laps. We have a look at a slow-mo replay. Tatnall dives to the bottom. You still got Clayton run on the top side. He got a little loose, did Clayton, in the blue car, so that let Tatnall just drift up, take his line away from him, and Tatnall will pull away now. Ryan Farrell now wants to have a go at Clayton.
Yeah, just got a bit anxious on the accelerator on the high side, and it cost him, and Tatnall is streaking away. Clayton still holding down second, but he's under pressure from that machine.
Yeah, well, Brooke Tatnall really knows his way around this place, and he's been super fast every time they come here at Kwinana Beach. Now, Tatnall putting Wells down a lap. You've got to be able to go on different parts of the racetrack every time you go around.
And that's what I love about this racing. And there's so many forms of motorsport. People complain about lap traffic. Here, it's par for the course. Get used to it and get past it.
Exactly right. The other thing is, though, Boydo, you've got to remember, these guys have got their helmets on and they've got tear-offs because you've got clay coming into you. You've got to be able to take your hand off the steering wheel and pull a tear-off so you can keep seeing.
I wouldn't be taking my hands off the steering wheel. I can assure you of that. This guy's having a good race, isn't he?
He's a multi-Western Australian sprint car champion, is Ryan Farrell, and he certainly knows how to handle a sprint car. Now, look at Brooke Tatnall. Oh, no. I was going to say he's slowed, he's got dramas, but it's Queensland's own GW Racing of Peter Lack in the JEI number 58. One of the contracted drivers, and good to have Lackey back out on road this year. Restart. Tatnall with only a handful of laps to go. John Day's utes that we've seen at the start of the feature race with all the fireworks coming off him. General John Day does an awesome job over there in Perth.
Isn't it amazing, though? Clayton having such a good weekend, right? Oh, speaking of bad, he's into the wall, and the car has been ripped to pieces. I was about to say he was having an outstanding weekend until Tatnall came. Now this.
Yeah, Luch Monty just come up the track. Clayton had nowhere to go, and that is massive impact into that concrete wall, and it just shows how strong these chromoly chassis are, Boydo, because there's obviously concern for Clayton sitting there in the race car. Crash crew there very, very quickly. Top wings, they actually help support when there's an accident like that, but massive contact between his right rear, that's Luch Monty's right rear, and Clayton's front left.
Now, there's the problem. See the deceleration. That's what hurts a driver. As you say, the machine, very, very well built. You could see the actual chassis itself stayed in one piece, but it's that massive deceleration, I know from experience, is what really upsets you for the next couple of weeks. You can be really crook as a result of that as your internal organs try and get back into their position. But there he is walking away. What a great result that he's able to walk away from that wreck.
And that car's pretty much throwaway. You can see those down tubes going down towards the front wheels, and put that car pretty much in a body bag. That's one way of saying it. Restart, Tatnall. We've got Ryan Farrell back there in second. And 7 times World Series Sprint Car champion Max Dumsney back in the field trying to weave his way through, but it's going to be hard to catch this man, Brooke Tatnall.
Yeah, Farrell's staying pretty close with him on the restart. He's had a very good run so far, but as you talk about the experience of Tatnall, how is he going to get past, or can he stay with him? Because this guy just gets stronger and stronger as the night goes on.
Yeah, Tatnall's been running for the Cricket Motorsport team for a couple of seasons now, getting used to the cool chassis. John Cooley builds them down in Warrnambool in Victoria. There's Max Dumsney, originally from Nullawarre, which is about 25 minutes out of Warrnambool in the southwest part of Victoria. Ryan Farrell, though, he just loves this wide open spaces of the Perth Kwinana Beach Motorplex. Dumsney,
such a skillful pilot. He's had the opportunity to go on to so many different things and has elected to stay with the sport that he's passionate about, loves it to the nth degree. Coming out at these weekends and having this sort of competition is what it's all about, as the checkered flag goes down and Tatnall goes away with a great win.
Ryan Farrell home in second. Great job by him. Max Dumsney home in third. 2 big movers out of that is Robbie Farr. Remember, he caused a stoppage and went to the back of the field. And also Ian Loudon from Sydney come out of position 18, finished back there in 6th position. Winners are grinners on the podium for round 3 of Wanless World Series Sprint Cars.
Sure, let's take a look at the championship results at the end of round 3, and a change at the top of the leaderboard. Tatnall, Farr, Max Dumsney, Green and Ricky Malo, who's about to tell us how to get one of these cars off the mark.
You're here with Ricky Marlow, the SA24 TRG Transport Eagle. We are going to walk through the whole procedure of starting up a sprint car with you. All right, the starting procedure of starting a sprint car is once you've got in the vehicle, you locate the steering wheel onto the hub, quick release hub, which locks it into place, and then you rock the car backwards and forwards, and just over here, you've got a gear lever which clicks the diff in and out of gear, which puts it in or out of gear. And then basically you get the push car pushes you off, and as it builds up pressure, you got just down here, which is a fuel tap, which goes on and off. And as you build up pressure here on the gauge, you just flick the start switch, and away she goes. And that's the startup procedure of a sprint car.
We're at Perth Motorplex for round 4 of the Wanless World Series Sprint Cars, and championship points wise, we have the master out in front. Brooke Tatnall leads the way over Robbie Farr, but this round is going to be absolutely vital for points. Perth Motorplex is the scene for round 4 of the Wanless World Series Sprint Cars. This was Heat 1, Stewie.
Yeah, it is, Boydo, and the heats just keep rolling on and on and on, and it's all about just passing cars and getting the track position. And this is the best thing about sprint car racing. You can have a car side by side for the whole laps, and it just goes so quick. So Heat 1 went to actually Matt Muir, great job by him. Heat 2 out on the racetrack. The big mover in this one was Trevor Green. Contact between Brian Brown there in the 15 and 6-time World Series Sprint Car champion Brooke Tatnall. Trevor Green took the heat out. Mad Adelaide Crow supporter is Trevor Green too.
Heat 3 went this way.
Yeah, Miolo, look at him on the outside in the powder blue number 99 to the top side. Dives from the top straight to the bottom. New race leader, Ricky Miolo. That's just showing race craft. He takes out that heat. Good job by Miolo. Action aplenty. All car tags the wall going into the pit end bend. And lucky to keep going. Robbie Farr out there and doing a good job. Now, this man, Ken Satori, driving for Jeff Kendrick. Used to running his own gear, but now in the 92.9 FM car. Now Fari coming through. Ryan Farrell not having it all his own way, but takes out that heat. Good job by Ryan Farrell. Brian Brown in this one now in the 15 car, and Max Dumsney, Mr. Velveleen in the GKR Transport. Number 5, Maxim, having a great battle here with Brian Brown. This is for the race lead. Brown gets underneath Dumsney. Now, we now notice front wing damage on Brian Brown's car. Reason of that, with the big clumps of clay and that's tough dirt, makes the wing collapse. Didn't make too much damage to the car. He won the heat. B-main time. The last dance to get into the A-main, Boydo.
Yeah, this is where it's all on for young and old. There's no second places here as the 8 car is in all sorts of trouble, up and over. A soft rollover, but nonetheless that brought a stop to proceedings, albeit for a short period of time, but they got back into action in no small way after that.
Farrell should take out tonight's B-main and transfer into the A-main. Yellow light on for Sean Bradford. We'll be back with you after this break for the hot A-main action.
We're gearing up for the A-main of round 4, but before we do, let's catch up with Greg Hall to find out about the aerodynamics of these cars.
Hi, I'm Greg Hall, driver of car number 4 for Hall's Motorsport, and tonight we're going to give you a few tips on top wings. The top wing on the sprint car is there basically to hold the forces down on the rear wheels of the car to give you drive to go forward. A lot of people are under the perspective that it's there for a mobile billboard, but it does a lot more than that. We've got a couple of different ways of adjusting things, and here in front of me we have this adjuster that we can pull back on as we're actually out on the racetrack racing. We can change the wing angle and put more downforce on the rear of the race car, and gives us more forward drive. The top wing on these sprint cars is a pretty important piece of equipment for a race car to keep it on the racetrack and give it forward speed. So we have a couple of different ways of adjusting these wings. We have here an adjuster that when we're actually racing on the racetrack, we can pull back on the adjuster, and it actually moves the adjustment on the wing.
Well, it's down to the business end of the night. Round 4, the A-main, and we are almost ready for a start, Stewie.
Yeah, we are, Boydo, and you just got to love the way General John Day has those fireworks coming out the back of the ute. Ian Loudon on pole, Brooke Tatnall alongside him. We go back in the pack, Peter Lack from Withcott in Queensland, and Trevor Green and Ken Satori starting down the back. The race is going to be on, and Ian Loudon driving for the Hall Brothers team out of Western Australia, not in his own car. Tatnall on his outside. So let's see if Ian Loudon, the man that won the Tyre Power Parramatta City Raceway Track Championship last year here in Sydney, can he do something a little bit better here over at Perth? Kwinana Beach Motorplex. Tatnall putting it to it though to Loudon. Loudon on the top side. Here comes Robbie Farr.
Well, big action back in the pack too, towards the rear of the field. A couple of drivers getting caught up. Be worthwhile as we catch the replay. Keeping your eyes mid-pack too. Max Dumsney and Brown starting back in 7th and 8th respectively. We can expect them to be on a charge. Already so. Look at Brown. There he is on the outside on row 4.
Yeah, complete restart. So Loudon once again. Has Tatnall learned anything from what Loudon's got? Loudon sticks it in on the bottom this time. Tatnall running the top. Robbie Farr. Oh no! Mitchell Dumsney has spun the 41 car in front of his father. Max lucky not to make contact with him. Now Mitchell actually won round 2 at Parramatta City Raceway. First ever Wanderless World Series feature win for Mitchell. Yeah, complete restart again.
Yeah, crashing into Dad will get you a raw start on Christmas Day dinner, I can tell you that much.
Exactly right. So Loudon, 3 from 3 at the moment for Ian Loudon.
He's having a good weekend, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Wazza doing a great job out there, and this is a car he's never driven before either, so it's the first time he's been in this car this weekend, and he's running wheel to wheel with a 6-time Wanderless World Series Sprint Car champion in Brett Tatnall.
Talk about pressure.
So Loudon running the top side, so is Tatnall. So Loudon, he's only been in sprint cars for 5 years now, and he's now running with the best. Luch Monty dives in underneath the 34 car, doing a good job. Now here comes Max running around on the bottom side of the racetrack. That's Max in the Valvoline G car. Picks up both those cars, did an awesome job as Max Dumsney just then.
On the previous lap, Brown was almost taken out as he tries to hang on to the back of Max Dumsney. Just got very close to a fellow competitor. Was lucky not to end up upside down.
Geez, Ian Loudon's pulled away from Brooke Tatnall right now. Incidentally, with Ian Loudon coming over there and racing for the Hall brothers team, he's actually brought his crew chief over from Sydney as well, and Troy Byron, and Byron knows his way around a race car. Brown, though, still running the top side, inches away from the wall.
Yeah, and he's not getting too much slide in those turns either, is he? So he's getting good power down out of his machine. Look at this three-way dice going on back in the field. Oh, contact!
Yeah, Ryan Farrell there in the 95 car and Coyle in the 34 car. So Farrell, remember, come out of the B main and he's trying to get his way through the traffic. Very lucky not to make heavier contact and put cars upside down.
Look like Coyle might have an issue as a result of that contact. The front left hand looking a little bit second hand.
So now our race leader, Ian Loudon, in the number 5 Hall Motorsport car. Into heavy lap traffic was our race leader, new race leader in the TRD Toyota Genuine Parts Cool, number 2 of Brooke Tatnall. Oh, he just knows his way how to muscle one of these 800 horsepower sprint cars.
And he times his runs to perfection. You look at the results throughout the week and you say, is he on it? Has he got the package that he needs? And all of a sudden, he just grows extra horsepower and bolts away as Brown tries to get up onto the tail of this battle.
Yeah, Brown's come out of position 8 in tonight's feature race. He's now in position 3, so he's got a fast race car and he knows how to handle it. He actually won the 2007 Knoxville Track Championship, so that's over in the United States, and that's a big thing to win that over there.
Gee, they're running a high line.
Yeah, they certainly are. Tatnall went to the bottom that time. Now he's gone back to the top. Got underneath Jason Kendrick in the 92.9 number 11 car, son of Jeff Kendrick, car owner. So Tatnall just knows how to put the car around on these racetracks. Dives in underneath Ken Satori in the 92.9 car. So, like, this is the thing, Boydo, and I know you're new to speedway racing and stuff like that, but these guys are just so crafty of the way they can just turn these cars on a dime.
And the reaction time so quick. Like, that was a perfect example with Tatnall there. As you see, look, dives to the inside, tries to get a run down the inside, and you never know who's going to be there. Somebody sneaking up that is out of your peripheral vision that can give you a really big headache.
Yeah, and one perfect example about these drivers, Brooke Tatnall is a professional sprint car driver. The man he just put that slide job on Luch Monty is a market gardener over in Western Australia. So it just shows the comparison between some of these guys.
And ploughs by day and ploughs by night.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, Ricky Miolo just got put down a lap from Adelaide. Miolo driving the TR&G car, number 24, doing a good job out there circulating around. But Brooke Tatnall in a class of his own.
Yeah, he's got lap traffic to contend with at the moment, and this is where he makes up so much ground, calming his way through that lap traffic and doing it with consummate ease, straight to the inside, almost like, didn't even have to think twice about it, did he? Just, it's a natural reaction to him.
Yeah, and one thing for people that don't know much about sprint car racing, there's no rear vision mirrors. You can't see what's going on behind you. You just got to get out there, put the foot flat to the floor. Even though most of these guys, with the way the track conditions are now, they're not probably running wide open. They're using throttle control. They're lifting, using their brake to help get the car through the turn. So Tatnall now coming up onto the back of Trevor Green. There's Green, the Adrad Radiators number 4. Tatnall, though, got heavy lap traffic in front of him from Sans Souci in New South Wales, but also lives in Forest Lake, Minnesota, and also jokes that he lives in the Walmart parking lots when he's out on the road. So Brooke Tatnall is quite a character when he's out on the road, and you look at what Brooke Tatnall's achieved in sprint car racing, especially out here in Australia in Wanderless World Series Sprint Cars. He's had 59 feature race wins, so that just shows how dominant this man is, and that's the most ever. And he's a 6-time Wanderless World Series champion. He's won 3 Australian sprint car championships as well, so there's nothing that Brooke Tatnall hasn't done in a sprint car when you put it to him.
And you made the point earlier on, it's all about collecting points, and Tatnall's exceptionally good at that as he heads off on his final lap, and victory is in sight.
Yeah, it's smooth racing for Brooke Tatnall now. Clear track in front of him, down through turns 3 and 4, comes out of turn 4 in the Toyota Genuine Parts TRD number 2 Cool for the Cricky Motorsport team. Great job by Brooke Tatnall. Ian Loudon, what a result for him, home in second spot. Then we went to Brian Brown, Robbie Farr, Ryan Farrell, Max Dumsney, Trevor Green, and rounding out our 8 was Mark Wells. Tatnall about to reap the spoils in victory lane.
And Stewie, he has a lot to celebrate. He remains top of the rooster in front of Robbie Farr and Max Dumsney in third. Now let's catch up with Matt Brown to talk about driver safety.
Hi, I'm Matt Brown, driver of the Direct Haul Jones Way Transport NT14. And tonight we're going to do a tech talk and talk a little bit about helmets and some of the things we use to help us drive the cars. This is my helmet. As you can see, I've been slack this week and haven't washed it. The mud that we get sprayed at us from the cars in front of us obviously goes all over the visor, and we've got the tear-offs here, which are thin plastic things that we rip off. It goes off that side there. They come in packs of 7 glued together. It's probably one of the most important things on a heavy racetrack that the driver can have, because if you run out of tear-offs, you run out of vision, obviously, and that hinders things. So the other thing we got is the Hans device, which attaches to your helmet with those clips attached to that there. On a head-on impact, your head goes forward, but the Hans device with the seat belts over the top there holds the helmet and stops your head from going too far forward.
We're at Speedway City for round 5 of the World Series Sprint Cars in Adelaide, and that's an interesting way to kick off the weekend. Here is Heat 1.
Yeah, Bradley Keller takes out heat number 1 in a great driving style. There's David Murcott driving the Downing Brothers number 97 car, getting it underneath Stephen Lyons, but there's our race winner, Bradley Keller in South Australia 19. Heat 2 rolled out. Warrnables, Jamie Veal in car 35 takes out this second heat, and Jamie Veal, second generation sprint car driver, but the man that really wanted to put on a good show was one of the local boys in car 24, Ricky Miolo.
And all the local boys and a couple of the imports too are showing that it's desperation stuff out there, but you can't waste any time. Points are up for grabs, and the more you get, the easier your championship season is going to be.
Yeah, Luke Bowie takes out this heat from Luke Dillon, so the two Lukes battled it out for that one. Next heat out on the racetrack, Jamie Veal again. He runs away with heat 4, and he's certainly one to watch in the coming years of sprint car racing. Few cars coming off the racetrack. Very hot conditions here at Speedway City in Virginia. Heat 5 now rolls out onto the racetrack. Robbie Farr and Stephen Lyons, contact between each other. Now Farr comes back out on the racetrack and makes the yellow come out. Professional free kick, that one in a way, but the car jumped out of gear at his disguise as well. Car 27 spinning there right now, Daniel Piquesta. Robbie Farr, Stephen Lyons still going at it. Josh Roosh in the yellow car running around the top side of the racetrack. Track conditions very, very tough here at Speedway City. Max Dumsney starting on the outside of this heat. He really wants to get the job done. Trevor Green running around the top side. Now watching that number 3 car, the black car, Philip March, used to be a contractor driver out on Wanderless World Series Sprint Cars, just doing the local shows now. Lee Dillon with the collapsed top wing, he's been upside down, but Max Dumsney does a fine job around the top side here at Speedway City.
If you thought the heats were hot, wait for the A-main. We're down to the A-main of round 5 of the Wanderless World Series Sprint Cars, and it's an awesome grid that we have for you in this A-main. Tatnall starts out of P1, far alongside him, then Murcott. Luke Dillon out of 4. There's Lee Dillon starting out of 9th spot, and rounding out the grid in 18th is Peter Lack. We're set for an awesome race.
Yeah, we sure are, as the cars are 4 wide, and it's awesome to see a great crowd in the house here at Speedway City in Virginia. Max Dumsney, he wants to really move forward in this feature race. He's got a lot of work to do. Brooke Tatnall and Robbie Farr start on pole. We are green, and this is a great camera angle looking to the cars as they go into turn 1. There's Ricky Miolo in the TRG Transport car. Ashley Cook in the 91 car doing a good job. And here's one fast driver, is Cook.
There's plenty of traffic to contend with in these opening couple of laps. Good close racing.
Yeah, certainly is. And watching Dylan Jenkin there in the 51 car. He's a young South Australian guy learning the trade of sprint car racing and having a bit of fun out there. Brooke Tatnall, though, won the last round over in Perth, and he's now showing everybody how it's done. Ex-Australian sprint car champion in Philip March. He's always got that car dancing across the track.
Yeah, some of them like it pretty bouncy, don't they, as they will try and search for the line. Of course, this track has changed right across the day throughout the heats, and it all comes down to who can set up their car and pick the right line nice and early in these races.
Yeah, Max Dumsney, 7 times World Series Sprint Car champ, doing
and there's the master of doing exactly that.
Exactly right. 3-time Australian Sprint Car champion, 3-time Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic winner down in Warrnambool, and he has won 51 Wanderless World Series Sprint Car feature wins. He really knows how to muscle a sprint car in the Valvoline GKR Transport Maxim.
Good lines being taken here. Plenty of work still to be done to get to the pointy end of the field, and time's ticking away.
There certainly is, and then you look at our top guys out in front. You've got Brooke Tatnell, Robbie Farr, David Murcott. There's Murcott on screen now in the Downing number 97 car. Comes across from Victoria, does Dave Murcott, drives the South Australian-owned car and doing a good job. Puts a big move underneath Lee Dillon. Now, Lee Dillon's come out of Formula 500s. He's running for the family Dillon Motorsport team, doing a good job. Track nice and wide, but through the turns, it's a little narrow there due to the hot weather that we had during the day. They've had to regrade the track come feature time. So these guys are doing an awesome job. There's the Cookie Monster, Ashley Cook in car 91.
You can see how hard he was working behind the wheel. It just reiterates what you were saying about that track. Oh, no, look at this.
Philip March pulls to the infield. Couldn't quite get the job done tonight. So you look at our contracted drivers out there running around. Trevor Green, who's from Adelaide, got Adrad Freightmaster on board. He's driving a cool chassis. As I said earlier, big Adelaide Crows supporter. He has won about 10 feature wins on Wanderlust World Series Sprint Cars. He was actually the first ever man to win a sprint car feature race at Perth's Cornana Beach Motorplex. There's Lee Dillon on screen once again, circulating around the Virginia Raceway here in Adelaide.
Started out of position 9 and is trying to work his way forward as the laps count down. Good scene. He's done a pretty good job to us, Lee.
Yeah, there's Matty Eagle in the South Australia number 29. One of our other contracted drivers, Ricky Miolo, in the TRG Transport Active Motor Wreckers Eagle. Also out of Adelaide, he's putting on a great showing out there for his local sponsors and also his fans he's got here at the racetrack tonight.
It's a good scene here at the circuit tonight.
Max Dumsney still doing an awesome job, but Brooke Tatnell, the man that's out in front now, we haven't really seen many pictures of him. We've been concentrating back through the field of these other drivers out there on the racetrack. Max Dumsney in the top 5 at the moment as well, but Brooke Tatnell is just doing it with ease at the moment. The man driving the Cricky Motorsport Toyota Genuine Parts number 2, cool.
Oh, Murcott, big move round the outside, got plenty of power down, and actually started to pull away there.
We mentioned about Trevor Green earlier on. It's been a tough start to the Wanderlust World Series Sprint Car season for Trevor Green. He's had rear-end problems, he's had engine dramas, but he's still out there battling away, and that's one thing, and that's the biggest thing about Wanderlust World Series Sprint Cars is that these 6 teams that are out on the road, they all pitch in and help each other to make sure they stay out on the road, because it is a tough 3 months out on the road. Going across our big brown lawn, here comes Max Dumsney now underneath Matty Eagle.
Well, tried to get up the inside. I think the door was shut, so he had to back out of it. Murcott goes screaming past shot. Now the overtaking manoeuvre done.
Now, Robbie Farr, I noticed just there a couple of shots back. He's starting to close in on Brooke Tatnell. So has Farr got something for Tatnell? Farr in the East Coast Pipeline, Australian Portable Camps, Vermeer, Orcon, Joe Gibbs, driven oil, J&J, big crash here on the main straight. Yeah, Jamie Veland is out of Warrnambool driving the SWI Engineering number 35 car. Not that big of a crash, but still, he's got some wing damage. He probably still should be able to re-continue on. Brooke Tatnell's our race leader. In second spot is Robbie Farr. Then we've got David Murcott following him. So pretty much a freight train here right now. Watching Glenn Sutherland in the 20 car going around the outside. Ricky Miolo back there in the pack, but gee, I tell you what, Brooke Tatnell's going to have his hands full right now. Oh, no, Robbie Farr, you just seen it off in the distance. He got the car awfully sideways and lost a lot of ground.
And what did that do? It took all the pressure off Tatnell.
Yeah, sure did, and you know Brooke Tatnell's just going to run away with this run right now. There's Ricky Miolo in the TR&G number 24 car. So the guys are really doing it tough out here on these race conditions. Big Al Woods, the big Queenslander in the 28 car. What a character he is, back out on the road doing Wanderlust World Series Sprint Cars. There's Murcott, still in third spot. Race leader is Brooke Tatnell. Robbie Farr still hanging tough in second spot.
And look how the cars are working so hard. They're bouncing around. No rest for the wicked if you're driving one of these things. Plenty of work to be done, particularly just easing these cars through the turns.
Yeah, the thing is, Boydo, that these guys actually, the crews, they're setting the cars up for the end of the race, not so much the start of the race, because the track completely changes from the start of that feature race to the 30 laps at the end. So they've really got to take a big guess on how the track's going to go and try and set their car up. And one of the best in the business, there's Glenn Sutherland into the wall in the GEM number 20 car out of Mount Gambier. And I was just saying the best in the business is Max Dumsney's crew chief in Darryl Green. He knows how to set a race car up. Now, challenged for the lead that time, Robbie Farr had a big look underneath Brooke Tatnell. Then there's Lee Dillon in the 82 car still circulating around.
Fallen back through the field as Dillon just a little bit. Lee'd be a little bit disappointed with that, I dare say.
Yeah, certainly would be, and these guys are really doing an awesome job around here at Speedway City. Wendy Turner, the promoter there. Wendy doing a great job down there in South Australia promoting the best kept secret in motorsport, sprint car racing.
No doubt about that. Tatnall's still out in front, breathing space behind him too. And you know what he's like when he gets into this position? He just bolts away into the distance.
Yeah. Oh, Max Dubsney.
Oh, hang on to it, Maxie.
Yeah, he's bouncing through the turns there. You can see how the front right wheel just got caught up in the soft dirt and just made the car just bounce through the racetrack. And if you hit it hard enough, it ends upside down. But he was lucky enough, and he's got enough charisma and car control to be able to keep that car on all four wheels. Oh, Peter Lack now having a go at it. So the track's starting to catch these guys out. And great to see Peter Lack down here racing for the GW Racing Petro Fuels JEI number 58 out of Queensland.
It doesn't take much of a bump to upset these cars, does it? Final lap now for Tatnall.
Yeah, doing an awesome job. Trevor Green on screen there, but Brooke Tatnall, he's going to take out another feature win on Wanderless World Series Sprint Cars. He is just the man, so dominant. Home in second spot, and what a drive by him by Robbie Farr. Third went to David Murcott, followed by Luke Dillon, Matt Eagle. There's the checkered flags now. Trevor Green, Max Dumsney, Peter Lack, Jamie Cobby, Stephen Lyons, Alan Woods, followed by Dylan Jenkin. Ricky Miolo did a good job.
And have a look at how the championship looks. Just 20 points in it. Brooke Tatnall out in front over Robbie Farr, and Max Dumsney in third spot. The Wanderless World Series Sprint Car Travelling Circus continues to Hobart, and Stewie, it was action aplenty.
Yeah, sure is, Boydo. That's not how you start time trials or Wanderless World Series Sprint Cars. Phil Coates it is, just got up into the loose marbles, the loose dirt, and once you do that and you hit that wall and the big Hoosier right rear makes contact, car just goes over, and that's not the way you want to start your night's racing. Heat action now at Hobart International Speedway, and it is a picturesque little place. Look at James McFadden running wheel to wheel. McFadden in the Queensland Speedway spares number 7.
Very tight little circuit, and you have to work it hard, and that's not the way to do it.
A couple of the South Australian boys have come down, and oh, look at House here. Wow. That's how you do it coming out of turn 4.
Right on the checkered flag of Heat 2. This is Heat 3.
So these guys, certainly, it's just a great little racetrack down here. Robbie Farr now, he's having a great battle going around the outside. Real tight little bull rowing here. One of the red paths going past there, very close to the action. We're that close we can touch the checkered flag, Boydo.
Yeah, you don't miss much here, do you, at all? This is Heat 6.
Oh, no, massive crash down here into turn 1. Top wing's gone over the fence. Driver okay. Now, struggling to pick up actually who that is, but that's a wild series of flips there from the infield. Great camera angle, but wow.
Gee, all the drivers behind were pretty good to not get involved in that, weren't they? Had to dive left and right.
Certainly are. There's the Redpath boys and the Willie Tiles number 12. And that's Adrian Redpath, multiple
Look at this.
Tassie champion.
Here's a man with attitude.
Yeah, not real happy. And, finger being pointed. Not sure if it's being pointed at Max or not. But, there's the car that it might have been pointed at. And that's Stephen Rowe in Tassie 6. Another heat out on the racetrack. And tell you one thing about this race meeting this weekend with the Tassie guys. One of Australia's own. Just watching McFadden here. Still, what's one thing, Boydo? The boys will keep the foot into the bucket. Normally, there's a bit of extra oil. Now look at the brake line, or the brake rotor I should say. Oh no, the brakes weren't working that time. He's got massive dramas with the car, has the 7 car of Tim Hutchins, and I guarantee you his backside's hot.
Well, speaking of technical things, Stu, let's catch up with Andrew Shirley and find out more about tyres.
Hi, I'm Andrew Shirley from Ostec Racing with another Tech Talk moment. What we have here is tyres for the race, back of the race car. We've got the right rear and the left rear. Obviously there's a different circumference, different sizes, because the race car we always go left, obviously with the Speedway, so this is obviously on your right hand side. Obviously the slicker and dustier it gets, the bigger left rear we put on the race car. Compound wise, they range from a RD12 right through to a RD25, so depending on what the racetrack does rubber wise, whether it gets into the tyres or not, obviously we go harder in the compound. Same with the left rear. As the track slickens off, we get less and less stagger. Obviously we either go smaller in the right rear or bigger in the left rear. We cut the tyres, we put grooves that way through it, and basically when you sort of got to dig at the racetrack, we get an extra cutting groove that helps it get through that loose stuff on top of the racetrack and digs down into the surface. Unlike your road car tyres, these race car tyres, we run really low poundage. I mean, a road car, you're probably looking at 32 to 35 pound, where the right rears we can run, depending once again how slick and dusty the racetrack gets, and if it's nice and smooth, I mean, we can be down to 6 to 7 pound in the right rear. It's a big tyre, and it doesn't sound like a lot of poundage, but the softer we run them, the better traction we get on the racetrack. And the left rears are anywhere from 4 to 6 pounds. So there's a massive difference between your road car tyres and your race car tyres.
Round 6 in Hobart, and we are down to the A main. Let's take a look at the starting grid for this feature race on the program, and it's turned out to be an interesting weekend with Robbie Farr starting out of P1. Then we've got Green. Tatnall starts out of position 3, Hutchins out of 12 as we go back through the field down to Redpath starting out of 17th spot. Let's check out the action as we go green.
Yeah, Robbie Farr and Trevor Green started on the front row, and it's a beautiful looking little racetrack here. Nice and smooth track conditions, just A1 right now. Max Dumsney got a lot of work to do, so has James McFadden. Now these Tassie guys down here, they race pretty well every week down here. They don't get across to the mainland that often, but they soon really know about it when Wanderless World Series Sprint Cars heads into town. There's Robbie Farr, our race leader.
And then, roll over in back play.
Peter Lack out of Queensland, upside down.
Oh, and they've all got into the side of him. Lack's had no luck whatsoever. The 41's in there as well.
Yeah, House come in the side in car 20, and the 41 of Wayne Rowett come in as well. So, and poor old Peter Lack, he's relaxing there, probably thinking, all right, no one's going to get me, but all of a sudden, bang, in they come.
I was just about to say, with regard to your previous comment as we catch the restart, that this tight circuit, the Tasmanians would have an advantage here because they're used to racing in tight company, and that's an example of how everything can go horribly wrong.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, you look at the way the different tracks we've already been to. We started at Parramatta, which is a wide-open racetrack, big, fast speedway. Then to Perth, which is just bigger and faster again. Back to Speedway City, where it's a little bit tighter, but now you go over to a tighter place, and Robbie Farr's doing it with ease at the moment.
And that's what's so good about the Wanderless World Series Sprint Car Championship. You've got to be adverse across all those disciplines.
Yeah, and you look at the racetrack the way it is right now, very smooth, no real ruts there. You see a couple of form ruts. When I say ruts, that's clump of clay getting pushed up by those big right tyres.
That's more
Robbie
than clay.
Farr, our race leader, has got big problems on this East Coast pipeline. Number 7, J&J, smoke coming off the left-hand header pipes. Let's hope this doesn't cost him the race. But I tell you now, there's flame coming out, so there's a lot of oil leaking out of Robbie Farr's car. And I tell you one thing, Boydo, he's not going to back off. He knows one way, bury that right foot. He wants to get to that checkered flag.
If it's going to go, let it go. But I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to retire until I absolutely have to.
There's the second place car of Trevor Green in the Adrad Radiators Freight Master, number 4, Cool. Brooke Tatnall behind him back there in third. Just great pictures here from Tasmania. Beautiful little speedway down here in Tassie, the Hobart International Raceway. Now, Cook having a problem there. Look at the way the cars just bounce through the turns. Fari come up onto the back of him and just tagged him. So, continuing on, Trevor Green still in second, Brooke Tatnall back there in third. Haven't seen many pictures of this man, but Kerry Madsen, not on screen at the moment. There he is there in the Dawkins own car, the yellow and black car that went through on the bottom side of the racetrack. Madsen, we know, that's been over in the States running the World of Outlaws. Did a good job over there this season. Back down here racing for the Dawkins Motorsport team, and he is a world-class sprint car driver.
And it's all experience. If you can go over and race against the guys overseas and come home, you're automatically on tune when the World Series Sprint Cars get underway.
Yeah, look at these two boys. They've gone at it for many, many years, 20-plus seasons. Brooke Tatnall and Max Dumsney, two of the superstars of Australian sprint car racing.
In many respects, household names too.
They are now, yeah. Well, you look at what Max Dumsney's done outside sprint car racing when he's obviously done the NASCAR racing down at the Thunderdome, V8 supercars, all that kind of stuff. There's not much that Max Dumsney hasn't done. And Brooke Tatnall's done the same as well, because he was one of the first to really get a name for himself outside of Australia in sprint car racing.
Good racing, good tight racing continuing on here.
So Robbie Farr's still our leader. Brooke Tatnall's back there in third. Trevor Green is in second spot. Dumsney still trying to charge down Brooke Tatnall, because it's all about these points to contend for the end of the series.
Been a difficult weekend for many of these drivers, coming to terms with how tricky the Hobart circuit can be, but many of them have risen to the fore. Local guys still with an advantage, though.
Yeah, they are. And just watching these cars coming through turn 4, you can see the way the cushion's just starting to form. Yellow light on, trouble here for car 41 and also car 10. So we go back green again. Now, as I was saying, coming out of turn 4, there's a little bit of a hole starting to form, and the guys are hitting them bad, and it's really catching them out. Now, just looking at the way this racetrack is going, it's starting to really smooth out, but still got those ruts there. Now, Trevor Green, I do believe, is now our race leader. Troubles for Robbie Farr going back through the field, and that's really hurt Robbie Farr. Trevor Green, though, he needs to get these wins. As I said earlier on, he's had a bad start to the season. Yellow light on for Kurt Luttrell in the spray and bake number 45. So Trevor Green is our race leader. Now, looking at that with Kerry Madsen now, he's moved up into second spot with Brooke Tatnell in behind him. So Madsen, is he going to make a late charge and try and get onto the back of Trevor Green? Green in the Adrad Radiators Freightmaster, number 4, Cool is our race leader.
Green with a good run at the moment. He's got a little bit of breathing space, but he's still got a fair bit of time if he wants to hang on to it, but equal to the task at the moment. The car not moving around quite that much, which suggests that his team got the setup perfect.
Yeah, just looking at the 2 Redpath brothers, they're going at it in the 2 green and white cars.
Fighting amongst each other.
Yeah, Jason and Adrian, probably like who was going to bowl or bat first in the backyard in cricket. But now they're doing it wheel to wheel out on the sprint car. Speedway racing as it is.
Looks to the inside, but can't get the overtaking manoeuvre done.
Trevor Green got a clear track in front of him right now, and he's doing it with ease. There's Ricky Miolo once again in the Active Motor Wreckers TRG Transport number 24. So 2 racing lines on the racing track right now as well, Boydo. You can run the bottom or run the top above the cushion. You've got to be daring to run above that cushion.
Yeah, but that's when it gets really exciting, isn't it? Which drivers choose to be where on the circuit and where they're getting clean power down. And it is a bit of a gamble, and it can be a little bit scary from time to time, but you can pick up massive inroads by taking those gambles.
Yeah, you've got to do that, and that's all about what speedway racing is all about. You've got to do it. It's the same with road racing or whatever other kind of motorsport. You've got to be lucky sometimes, but if you're smart enough to be able to put your car in that position and make it work, good luck to you.
What do they say? Luck is preparedness meeting opportunity.
Did you just watch Trevor Green that time? Went into turn 3 and 4, went way above the cushion. Here comes Kerry Madsen now.
There's touching there.
Well, oh no, Madsen's hit the cushion, ended upside down, running in second position. And someone else has come in upside down as well. Can't pick up who that is, but you watch Green, he got the car sideways. Madsen checked up and hit the cushion with the right rear, gone upside down. Now, just looking at the car there, I reckon he's only got top wing damage, so he might be able to continue on, but wow, that other car's come in very, very quick and ended upside down. Now,
a sympathy spin.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, you look at this now. Trevor Green still in front, Brooke Tatnell in second, Max Dumsney in third. Just 3 of the biggest names in sprint car racing in Australia.
Well, we said Green's car was pretty good out there. He's got Tatnell sitting right on his rear tyre at the moment, so he's going to have to be good to outdo the master. Final lap is up.
Yeah, James McFadden had a big moment there. That let Jason Dawkins get in underneath him. That's for 4th position. Race leader, though, Trevor Green down the back straight out of turn 4. Takes out round number 6. Brooke Tatnell home in second. Third goes to Max Dumsney, the evergreen. He's getting better with age as Max Dumsney, the way he can still race these sprint cars. What a result for Trevor Green, though, in the Adrad Freightmaster. South Australia number 4, Cool.
Yeah, but the big winner coming out of this round is Trevor Green. Look at him closing in on Brooke Tatnell out in front. That is all of the action of the Wanless World Series Sprint Cars for now.
Wanless World Series Sprint Cars, a grueling championship trail. It's been part of the Australian speedway landscape since 1987. Each November, a band of race-hardened sprint car chauffeurs begin crisscrossing the nation in their quest to win the coveted 15-round showdown. Along the championship trail, at the capital city venues, as well as the leading provincial circuits, the contracted drivers encounter stiff competition from plenty of home track heroes. With the curtain about to go up on the 22nd edition of Wanless World Series, meet 2 drivers who have dominated the title since its inception. 36-year-old Brooke Tatnell, who has won the crown 6 times and is the defending champion. Arch rival Max Dumsney, the 48-year-old veteran who has claimed the series on 7 occasions. When you consider Brooke's dad George won the first 2 series, that means the Tatnells and Max Dumsney have between them 15 of the 21 titles. Joining the fray again this summer is Robbie Farr, the 2004 Australian Sprint Car Champion. He'll be driving for Barry Waldron's East Coast Pipeline team. Also aboard the travelling caravan, Queenslander Peter Lack in the G&W JI car. Lack stunned many last season when he outdrove Brooke Tatnell to win the Kalgoorlie round. South Australia will be represented by Ricky Maiolo in the TRG Transport Oval Track Imports Eagle. Also from South Australia in the Adrad Radiators entry, Trevor Green, the 37-year-old former motocross star who finished 4th in last year's World Series. Once again this year, some of America's best sprint car talent will compete in select rounds, including the world's current #1, Donnie Schatz from North Dakota, and World Series regular Jason Johnson in the Disbury family Superlock entry. For the uninitiated, sprint cars are purpose-built open-wheel race cars, Speedway's equivalent of Formula One. They're powered by 410 cubic inch engines running on methanol fuel, producing 850 plus horsepower. The distinctive aluminium top wing is there to provide downforce to help keep all that power on the track.
We're back in Tasmania for round 7 of the Wanless World Series Sprint Cars, and Stu, this is the way Heat 1 went.
Yeah, Kurt Luttrell got a great start on the pole line there, and watching Brooke Tatnell and also Ricky Maiolo. Maiolo running around the top side and Tatnell was on the bottom, but Luttrell just super fast out there all by himself, and Ashley House back there in second. Now he's having a great battle here with Brooke Tatnell in the Toyota Genuine Parts #2 Cool.
Tatnell very calculative as he made his way through the field, but all glory went to this man. Luttrell came around and took the check flag and a win in the first heat of the weekend.
Did a great job there. Now Heat 2 rolls onto the racetrack, and some big hitters in this one. There's Trevor Green running around on the bottom side of the racetrack. A few of the Tassie guys there, the Redpath boys, are both in this heat. And look at Peter Lack there on the outside of Chris House. Plenty of houses everywhere in this. So, yeah, great result there. Look at Trevor Green going around the top side, and Jason Redpath actually takes the heat win. And look at the race those two guys are having.
Heat 3 went this way. Plenty of sideways action as well.
Yeah, James McFadden, he's certainly one of the up-and-coming sprint car stars. Oh, look at the contact here between the 38 and the 2 car. 38 being Jason Tranter and the 2 car being Shannon Wynne Allen. But look at Robbie Farr now running the top side.
Well, Robbie having a good run in the championship standings and needs to pick up maximum points out of all of these heats.
Yeah, and here's James McFadden now, not far away from getting the checkered flags. Good result for him. Heat 4 now onto the racetrack, and Kurt Luttrell once again, well, he must have had a very bad time trial to be starting off the front row in both his heats. So he won his first heat, now he's off the absolutely storming away. Here's Brooke Tatnell again, having a battle with Ashley House in the 20 car. Tatnell is just so fast when he hits any racetrack.
Yeah, he knows these circuits back the front, and he's got his car set up absolutely perfectly. Look at him trailing at the moment. A great result for him. Heat 5 went this way.
It certainly did, with Kerry Madsen back on the racetrack. That's him on the outside in the yellow and black car, driving for Dawkins down there in Tasmania. Robbie Farr also in there. Tranter back there again in the 38 car. So there's the track very, very black though, because the sun's still beaming down on the racetrack, and it's just baking the racetrack.
And track conditions changing right across the day as the checkered flag came out. And in Dash A, it came down to a battle of the big guns, Robbie Farr and Brooke Tatnell.
Yeah, Trevor Green also in there, Jason Redpath, Max Dumsney and Jason Dawkins. So it's going to be a great battle here. Look at the way Max just gets underneath Redpath, but Redpath says, hey, you're not having that easy. I'm going to get back on the inside here. Good job by Jason Redpath, but Robbie Farr, the man out in front, and he's on a mission this weekend in Tasmania.
In Dash B, it was Lack and Madsen off the front row, and they made it as far as turn 1.
Yeah, they just massive contact between the two of them, and Peter Lack's the man that really lost out in that one. You can see Kerry Madsen moving around in his car. And also, Greg DeCaris got caught up in it. And we go to another angle now and just look at the height of Peter Lack's car. And sometimes you just think, how safe are these race cars when you see them come back down like that?
Yeah, just dug in. I was watching the crowd in the background as they were all jumping for joy. Oh, look at this. Tempers start to flare. Officials pushing that driver out of the way and saying, look, just calm down, walk away and talk about it with the stewards a little bit later on. He kicks a bit of machinery out of the way and moves off. Is the smart thing to do.
Yeah, Redpath took out that Dash But just quickly on Kerry Madsen, his nickname is the Madman.
Robbie Farr on the grid here for round 7. Adrian Redpath alongside him as we go through. Peter Lack will start out of position 10 after his issue earlier on in the heats.
Yep, Madsen wasn't that far behind him. He starts out of 12. So we're green now down at Latrobe in Tasmania. And it's going to be an interesting feature race. You can see how dusty it is and how black the racetrack is, and the guys aren't going to be using full throttle right now as we look at Brooke Tatnell using every part of the racetrack and the infield.
Okay, maybe not everyone's using full throttle, but Brooke Tatnell, hey, does he know any other way?
Yeah, here comes Kerry Madsen now. He's coming up onto the back of the man he just had words with, Peter Lack. So let's hope there's no little altercation out on the racetrack now. You can see the guys running right down on the bottom part of the racetrack, trying to get that right rear tyre in the moist part of the racetrack so they can really get some drive.
Yeah, and try and get out of those turns and try and catch the man out in front who's just pulling away from the field at the moment. Robbie Farr has got a great gap over second spot.
Yeah, Robbie Farr and his crew chief Nick Speed have really got this car dialed in just real nice out there on the racetrack right now in the East Coast Pipeline, number 7 J&J. Tatnell still in second, and there's Trevor Green sitting back there in third. Great result for Adrian Redpath in the Wiley Tiles, number 12, sitting there in fourth.
As we know, all the heats and all of the main races here are picking up points, and Robbie Farr sitting in a position where he could possibly pick up 150, but that man will be trying to change that. Tatnell pushing hard.
Yeah, Tatnell leading the championship race at the moment, and he's sitting back in second, trying to run down Farry, but I know Farr's got a very, very fast car, and he's just going into lap traffic now. And this is one thing with sprint car racing, when you get into lap traffic, the race just completely changes again.
Yeah, it's all about getting through that traffic without washing off too much speed. It's a skill, it's a talent. Some people say, oh, they should be getting out of the way. No, you should be able to drive past the opposition if you've got that much of an advantage.
Yeah, Farr just gets underneath Ricky Miolo. Yeah, gets underneath Miolo, so he's certainly passing the cars with ease on the bottom side of the racetrack, but you can see him fighting the car when he gets the left-hand side wheels on the infield, and it unsettles the race car. Tatnell doing the same. Tatnell starting to close in on him, and Trevor Green still there in third.
Well, can Tatnell do it? He's managed to pick up quite a few spots, obviously getting through the traffic a lot cleaner.
Yep. Max Dumsney now, Mr. Valvoline. Max Dumsney moving his way forward, up on his in fifth position, trying to get past Redpath now.
He was boxed out there too. Redpath came across, picked up the line, and Dumsney had to get out of the accelerator.
No rear vision mirrors on these race cars. Peter Lack took an interesting line through the racetrack then. He was way above the racetrack where these guys are running on the bottom now. Trevor Green gets in underneath Miolo. Everybody running on the bottom side of the racetrack because that's just the fastest place right now. She's almost a freight train.
Yeah, the Adrad car getting past nice and cleanly as we go back to the 29, who's having a bit of a lonely old run out there at the moment.
James McFadden, that is, in the Queensland Speedway Spares, number 29. Dave Sharman, the crew chief, on his car, knows his way around a race car very, very well, but Robbie Farr just eating up his competitors.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. Tatnell closer, though, as you said. The gap is starting to come down between first and second, so it's going to be a great run down to the checkered flag.
You can see how shiny the racetrack is now as well. You can imagine driving around in one of these cars. You've got tear-offs on, which is clear plastic across your visor. The lights coming down. It's hard enough to see as it is, but with all that in the shiny racetrack, these guys do a very... Oh, look at McFadden, if you don't mind.
Miolo just able to avoid a collision there. That was big.
Yeah, Redpath now doing the same thing underneath Miolo. Miolo's stuck out in no man's land right now where he's running on the racetrack. There's just no traction at all, and he's just struggling.
And every time a car gets past him, of course, he's held out wide or has to get out of the gas and loses positions.
Robbie Farr, I tell you what, if he was any closer to the push trucks on the infield, he would have heard him.
He's been given some angry pills into this race, hasn't he?
Yeah, so's this man, Kerry Madsen. Look at him forcing his way through the field right now in the Kart Magic number 21 Dawkins car. So the madman, who's ran plenty of races over in the States this past season, and back out in Australia running for Dawkins.
When you say forcing, that's what it's about. You have to be not just forceful, you have to pick your overtaking opportunity and make it stick. Let the opposition know, no, you're not going to get past me again.
Yeah, Robbie Farr is just absolutely just showing everybody how it's done around here at the moment. He's almost about to put Kerry Madsen down a lap, and that's saying something because Madsen's a fast race car driver and he likes these kind of racetracks.
Farr's car is moving around on the circuit, not picking up his optimum line. Look at this. He was in two minds about which way to go. That's cost him a little bit of time. Tatnell getting much, much closer as well.
Yeah, that's one thing with these sprint car racing is that when you get up into lap traffic, you've got to make your mind up. Do you go around them? Do you go underneath them? What are you trying to do? Look at Robbie Farr. 4 wheels on the infield. infield, but...
Look at Tatnall. Look how close he is now.
Yeah, Brooke Tatnall is certainly closing in because Farr, I should say, is having trouble getting past these slower cars.
Well, he needs to get a nice, clean overtaking manoeuvre and then get past these two guys up in front, or Tatnall will make him pay in no small way.
Yeah, Jason Dawkins is on screen right now in the Tassie 10. He's one of the cars that Farr is trying to get around. Look at the guys, just the speed they carry through the turns.
This is going to be interesting because we know that Farr has got a very quick machine, but how is he under pressure on this final lap?
I guarantee you Robbie Farr will not be worried about the pressure. He'll be sitting there concentrating on hitting his marks. Here comes Tatnall, though. Can he do it? No, he can't.
No, he made a mistake as the checkered flag comes out, and Robbie Farr takes the win over Brooke Tatnall. I suppose there was no way he was going to get past anyway. There's confirmation. Max Dumsney finishes in third. Great drive by Trevor Green to be back there in fourth spot. Lack finishes in 12th, and Miolo rounds out the 18-car field.
As we have a look at the points now, Brooke Tatnall still out in front, followed by Dumsney, Green, Farr, Lack and Miolo.
Darren, thanks for taking some time out. Just coming in from America. First of all, congratulations on your first King's Royal win. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, it was not exactly the year we were looking for at home, and you know, that definitely makes your whole year. I mean, basically you can determine a good year by either you know, running for a championship or running really well solidly all year, or by winning one of 2 or 3 of the biggest races. And we definitely didn't run as solid as we should have, but luckily at some of the bigger races, you know, we put together good performances, and we're able to win the, you know, obviously the second biggest race of the year, the Royals. So definitely was a big lift for the whole team, and we finished up the year awfully strong, and just looking forward to next year for sure. Speed Week, I haven't done it in a lot of years. We did it the year we won World Series, and you know, I've basically been staying in Brisbane since we won the World Series, and just good to change of pace to come out. And we're only staying. I've been trying to cut my trips shorter and shorter, and basically just going to try to run as many races as we can in a short amount of time we're going to be here. So you know, hadn't been to Adelaide in a long time, and it's a racetrack that I've never won at, and I'm very well aware of that, and would really like to try to get a win here and a few other places, you know. So we just visit a lot of good tracks that I haven't been to in a lot of years, and just, you know, obviously running World Series is, you know, kind of special to me, just because, you know, we know we've had success at it in the past, and we'll try to see if we can't pick up where we were a few years ago.
To Adelaide and round 8 of the World Series Sprint Cars, brought to us by Wanless, and the first round of Speed Week, Stu.
Exactly right, Boydo, and a great crowd here at Speedway City. Look at Robbie Farr and Max Dumsney. They go wheel to wheel every time they hit the racetrack.
Always good value, aren't they? Look at this. Speaking of wheel to wheel, big contact.
Yeah, there was between Domain Ramsey and Brad Foster, going upside down in his number 11 car. Now look at Ramsey wheeling it in there, trying to get underneath Jason Johnson. Oh no, Luke Dillon spins the 81 car.
Doesn't pay any dividends. Tatnall on a charge through the field. Tight racing between these two.
Yeah, trying to get underneath Domain Ramsey. Tatnall is there. Meanwhile, though, Peter Lack is the man out in front, and he just cleared out from everybody in Heat 1.
He absolutely had a tough lead up to this point, so it's good to see Lack pick up a round win in one of the heats.
Yeah, there's Jason Johnson circulating around, the Superlock man of steel. Peter Lack won that heat as Heat 2 came out. Ricky Miolo trying to put on a great show for all his local sponsors.
Yeah, out in front at this point of the race with a big gap, but problems in the play.
Yeah, Scott Agars in the 13 car has made contact with the wall. There's Tranter in the 38 car having a great battle there, a big battle with Jamie Cobby. Now that's Cobby stopping, and also the other car involved is Dylan Jenkin in the 51 car. So contact and obviously big dramas for Cobby in the 35 car.
Ricky Miolo took the win in Heat 2 over Scott Milling, and Heat 3 went this way.
And great to have this man back on our Australian shores. Danny Smith, there he goes past in the number 4 car, the predominantly white car. That's him running around the back of David Murcott. Murcott in the Downing Brothers number 97. But Danny Smith been coming to Australia for 20 odd years, and he's just looking forward to racing here at Speedway City.
Gives you an idea of how much the overseas drivers love coming to race within Australia, doesn't it? They've come here for that many years in a row.
Yeah, Danny Reedy now trying to get underneath Caruso, and Caruso took out the heat win, as now we have Heat 4 back out on the circuit. All guys running through very wide through the racetrack. Great to have Brad Foster back out on the circuit after his little upside-down excursion earlier. Look at Jason Johnson fighting that car as James McFadden went the top side of the racetrack, couldn't quite get it done, but there's our heat winner, Ryan Jones in car 63. Good result for him.
We have with us driver Peter Lack, driver for the GMW Racing number 58 JEI. Peter, pretty relaxed, not very often you get much downtime in Speed Week. Tell us a bit about just how gruelling it is doing this.
Oh, Speed Week's tough, you know, you have a bad night, you're just about down from the, you know, you just stuff from the get-go, really. So, you know, we're a good crew chief guy. He's given us a hand, Paul Gisleyham. You know, he's been really stepping it up, and you know, not only is he working with a new team and that, but he's working with me and trying to steer me in the right direction. So, you know, take my hat off to Paul. He's put in a hell of an effort, you know, and we just got to lift our game a bit, and you know, we'll come good at the end. But you know, we just, you know, hopefully from here on in, we've had our bad luck, and tonight's it. So, you know, look, it was a new car in that too last night. We're just trying to sort the bugs out with that. You know, we tore that one up with Madsen down at in Hobart, but look, you know, live and fight another day. You know, that's what sprint car racing's about. You know, and you know, when Glano from Titan said, well, it's just another night, so that's it. We're just going to another night. So, looking forward to it.
We'll be back with more action of the Wanderless World Series Sprint Cars right after this break.
So Speed Week, 5 rounds, 7 days. How demanding is that?
I mean, to myself and Max, you know, Fari, to the Americans, it's, you know, it's just another day. I mean, it gets grueling on the crew guys. Don't get me wrong, it's tough, but you know, to the guys that have been doing this for that long, it's second nature now. So it's grueling, but as I say, it comes second nature. It's just like getting up and putting your pants on and going to work every day.
Well, I suppose that's one way to look at it. So how many wins do you think you'll get out of the 5?
How many do we plan on? We plan on at least 5 wins. I mean, we're not here for any other reason. I know we took a back seat on points last year and played the consistent game. I mean, we're not going to go tear up a race car to win. It doesn't pay us to do that, but you know, we're definitely here. Yeah, we've got to get our jail-free card right now with the point system. So we're going to utilise it and go for all the wins. I mean, yeah, this is in these situations, you know, with 10,000 to win each night. That's when the money's on the line, and you know, we do this for a living. This is how I put food on the table and put shoes on my daughter. So, you know, we're here to win races.
But now it's A-main time for the big guns to come out and fight for the final points of the night. What an awesome front row. Tatnall, Smith, Pittman on the second row, Murcott right behind, Lyons in there as well as we go through all of the competitors. Max Dumsley out of 15, he'd be bitterly disappointed, as would Green out of 18.
Yeah, Trevor Green, we've seen what happened between the heats with him, and so it's cost him a lot of points, but he's made it into the A-main. And it's just fantastic. Oh, look at Brooke Tatnall. Ooh. Wow. How exciting, and what a ride that must have been sitting in the cockpit. Just the way that car danced across the racetrack. Darren Pittman there. As we have a look at a replay, look at Tatnall. Look at the way that car just reacts when he lifts those front wheels.
What a great performance behind the wheel to be able to hang on to that and not throw it down the road.
Yeah, Robbie Farr there on screen trying to stay out of trouble. Max Dumsley trying to weave his way through the field in the Valvoline. GKR Transport Victoria 5. Danny Reedy, the rock star, on number 5, running around on the bottom side of the racetrack.
He's got plenty of work to do to get to the front of the field too, but there's time on his side.
Yeah, certainly is. 35 laps is the distance of these A-main events, and Danny Reedy, he knows his way around a speedway, and you look forward to watching him. There's Dumsley back on screen once again. Oh, what a move!
Timed that to perfection, didn't he?
Man who hesitates does not make position. Robbie Farr now trying to work around the outside of James McFadden. Didn't quite get it done. Cameron Gessner, great to have him back down in the southern states of Australia. The big lanky banana vendor from Queensland, Big Cam. He should be an AFL ruckman, he's that tall.
Amazing how they fit in the car, to tell the truth. Oh, look at that. The Queenslander getting very loose under acceleration there as he approached that turn. Back of the car stepping out, but he managed to hang on to it.
Yeah, Cameron Gessner still circulating around very nicely. There's Stephen Lyons in the Camden Neon Signs, number 45, J&J. Oh, no! Trevor Green has just had one massive accident down there in turns 1 and 2.
We started off the rear of the grid, and look at that. There's not much left.
A lot of chassis damage to the front of that race car as well. Front axle out of the car, and there's Trevor in the Adrad Radiators. Freight Master, race suit, walking back through the infield. He's A-OK, but he was checked over.
And Adrad, of course, a South Australian company, and they'd be A little bit disappointed to see their driver with that much damage.
Yeah, there's Robbie Farr still having a great battle. Oh, Danny Reedy now's into the wall.
Gee, he only just clipped it, didn't he? But it was enough to unsettle the car and give him all sorts of headaches.
And one thing with sprint car racing, for some reason when you hit the wall, the car just keeps getting sucked back into it.
So that's not what you want, obviously, the damage. But not just the damage, it's the points that count.
Oh, McFadden and Farr, they're still going at it. Farr around the outside gets the job done. Robbie Farr then just drives straight back in front of McFadden and closed the door.
Did McFadden take that quite personally?
Yeah, he certainly did. Great battle between these two guys. Danny Smith is our man out in front, though.
Still plenty of laps to tick down here as the dice continues on mid-pack. And it's all points up for grabs. They need to keep on it.
Dylan now trying to get in underneath Danny Reedy. Dylan in the 81 car, Reedy in the 5 car. Great racetrack that's been prepared tonight so far. They're two wide racing coming up onto the back of Domain Ramsey in the West Point Ford at number 20 car out of Victoria.
Reedy lost out big time there, didn't he? Just got caught up.
Yeah, there's our race leader. Sorry, Boydo. Danny Smith, Danville, Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana is enjoying being down at Virginia at the moment.
Exactly right. Dumsney now. Eagle having a battle with Dumsney. You don't know where to look. There's just battles everywhere. There's Brooke Tatnell in the Toyota Genuine Parts number 2 Cool.
His car doesn't look to be bouncing around anywhere near as much as it was earlier on in the heats, does it? Look, total control.
Yeah, Pete Cape Corn, the crew chief of Brooke Tatnell's car, he knows how to set up a race car, especially the way the driver wants it, and that's what Brooke's liking right now. Very fast, sitting back there in second spot.
Yeah, you know when they're on it, don't you? They just seem to grow an extra amount of horsepower. And look at him around the outside, making it almost look easy.
Yeah, straight around the outside of Danny Reedy. The reason he's really sitting up in the seat right now is he can see second place car. Robbie Farr has spun the East Coast Pipeline, number 7, J&J. Wow, that's not good for the points chase. Now, this will please Brooke Tatnell because there's no lap cars in between him and race leader Danny Smith. So Danny's got a clear track, but Brooke knows he can be on the back of him. Also, the man back there in third spot is Darren Pittman in the Titan Garages and Carports number 21. Now, Farr refiring the East Coast Pipeline at number 7, J&J. He has to go to the back of the field to restart.
And those sorts of things can throw your championship straight out the door as we catch the restart. Farr was working his way up the series standings, but there'll be a loss of points as a result of that, and it will hurt.
Single file restart in the Wanless World Series Sprint Cars events. Cars all just going, drivers going through the motions now with only a handful of laps to go. Danny Smith, though, can it be a fairy tale return to the Australian shores? First night back out, can he take out a first A main and 10 grand in the back pocket?
We'll soon find out, but he's got to get this man who's on a charge, Tatnell, working, trying to find a way past.
Yeah, Tatnell will do everything and anything to try and get past Danny because Brooke's father, George, raced many times against Danny, and as Brooke has these times as well on our shores and also in the States. But Danny Smith knows how to handle an 850 horsepower sprint car.
Yeah, he's managed to get the upper hand too, hasn't he? It's no mean person that can leave Tatnell in their wake.
Yeah, so they've caught lap traffic now. They go round Domain Ramsey. They pulled away from the third place car, which is Darren Pittman still. David Murcott in behind him, but Danny Smith running a little higher on the racetrack as the yellows have come out for a car that was slowing on the outside of the racetrack. And here he is now, Stephen Lyons coming to the infield.
Yeah, well, he'll bow out of this one and take no further part as the restart gets back underway, as you say, in single file, albeit for just a few moments.
Yeah, exactly right. So that gives Tatnell another chance to get onto the back of Danny Smith. Now, Robbie Farr working his way back through the field. Remember, he'd stopped on the racetrack before and went to the back of the field, so he's weaving his way back through the traffic now. Tatnell looking at every way, any way to try and get past Danny Smith.
Yeah, he's got plenty of work to do too. Oh, right up against the wall that time round. You know that he's giving it everything he's got. This is the determination of this guy. Looks to the inside, can't get the overtaking manoeuvre done, slots back in behind. Great driving.
Yeah, Danny Smith, both guys taking two different racing lines on the racetrack right now. You've got Smith running up against the cushion, whereas you can see Brooke is running down on the bottom. And I know with Danny Smith, he's got Phil Johnson and a couple of guys from down in the Warrnambool area of Victoria helping him and getting him back out in Australia. And it's just great to have him here. Tatnell now working over the bottom side of the racetrack. 1 lap to go.
Look at this, side by side with the final lap flag coming out, and traffic comes into play as well. This is going to be a thriller.
Yeah, last turn now, Smith. Can he hang on for the fairy tale? Tatnall coming, but what a result for Danny Smith. Welcome back to Australia. For Danny Smith, takes it out. Brooke Tatnall home in second. Murcock got past Pittman for third. Jason Johnson, Jamie Veal. Good result for Ricky Miolo back there in the field. Robbie Farr fought his way back through and rounding out the field with Trevor Green in last after that massive crash. But wow, what a result for Smith.
Danny Smith, great drive. Got the jump on Brooke Tatnall in turn 1. Tell us a bit how it all went.
Yeah, we started on the outside. Brooke actually got the jump going in 1, and I was kind of trying to go around the outside of him, and he hit the holes and started bouncing up in front of me, and I just turned left and got underneath him and just tried to run 35 laps without making a mistake and get to the traffic as good as I could, and it all worked out.
Certainly first race out, your own car from America, you really did seem to settle in straight away. You had to run that mid-track groove above the holes, whereas no one else really seemed to be able to be as consistent up there. What do you put that down to?
When I was rolling around there, it looked like the smoothest part of the track to me, so that's why I wanted to run and kind of save my equipment and save my body and just stay out of trouble, and it worked out fine. I've always wanted to bring my car to Australia at least once, and had an opportunity to do so with Luke Nash and Phil Johnson kind of laying the groundwork for me, and made it pretty easy for to bring my car over and my engine, and a lot of people's helped us get here though, and without their help we couldn't have made it.
Well, at the end of round 8, this is the way the championship standings look. Tatnall has clocked up over 1,000, Dumsney in second, then Green, Farr in fourth, Lack in fifth, and Miolo rounds out the top 6. Well, that wraps up the action from Speedway City in Adelaide. Now back to more drag racing action, this time the mid-season review from Andra.